My name is Brad Garlinghouse. I'm the CEO of Ripple. Ripple has approximately 900 employees across our 15 offices worldwide. We were founded more than a decade ago with a mission to enable the Internet of Value, a world where money moves like information does today. We build software products that power cross-border payments, stablecoins, and digital custody. Ripple helps financial institutions reduce friction, unlock efficiencies, and serve their customers better. These are not abstract concepts. We work every day with banks that rely on our technology to deliver real results in the global economy. Ripple leverages the XRP ledger, a decentralized, battle-tested, open-source blockchain, as well as its native digital asset, XRP, to facilitate payments. XRP is built to enable fast, low-cost, and highly scalable transactions. From the start, Ripple made the deliberate choice to work with policymakers and regulators, not around them. We have taken a compliance-first approach, operating with over 60 payment, service, crypto, and money transmitter licenses domestically and globally. With regard to the topic of this hearing, we believe smart legislation should be based on several core principles. Consumers need protection from fraud and scams. Markets need proper oversight. Bad actors need to be kept in check. And innovation must thrive. A constructive and workable framework for digital assets and stablecoins that achieves these goals will expand access to financial markets, create jobs, strengthen the economy, and put the U.S. on the path to being a global blockchain and crypto leader. For the last decade, the legal and regulatory uncertainty surrounding crypto has prohibited meaningful progress in the U.S. At Ripple, we certainly saw firsthand how the lack of clear rules of the road can be weaponized.
I just read a story that talks about an amazing change. XRP's value reached an impressive $1,427, a big step forward that was made possible by the fact that 30% of the world's banks may accept it. At first look, 30% may not seem like much, but it's a big chunk of the banking industry. Ripple is said to be working with almost a third of the world's banks, which is very interesting. We have all the proof you need in this section. That being said, the question arises, are these banks making the most of Ripple? It looks like not. We're going to talk about this subject in more depth today. We will also talk about some new information that says Ripple might be going public by the end of March. As the end of March draws near, this move could send the price of XRP through the roof, reaching an unbelievable $8.97 in just over a month. Hi, Moneyside family. For a chance to win, don't forget to leave a code with the word Moneyside in the comments. It's interesting that about 4% of all deposits made through foreign bank accounts are made with SBI holdings alone. In a bigger picture sense, this means that SBI could be a big part of the 30% global banking field by using Ripple's technology. Yes, but that's only the beginning. Ripple has also made a big agreement in Brazil where it is working with the Brazilian central bank to offer its on-demand liquidity services. That's only one part of the world puzzle. If you saw my last video, you'll remember that we talked about the BRICS countries and how each member country, such as China, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, and India, has direct ties with Ripple for on-demand liquidity and central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Comparing the world's GDP to that of just the BRICS countries shows that they make up about 29% of the world's economic output. This leads us to an interesting option. If all 5 of the BRICS countries decide to work with Ripple together, the effects could be huge. I talked a lot about this in a past video, showing how it's possible to add CBDCs to the XRP ledger and what steps are already being taken. It's impossible to stress how important the XRP ledger is in this situation. As we look ahead to the next bull market, the possibility for Ripple's technology becomes even clearer because it is so important to the way the economy is changing. After the Federal Reserve made a public statement, the talk about Ripple's growing role in financial technology took a big turn. They said that both XRP and XLM could be very important in helping to build the blockchain basis for their new FedNow payment system. The Federal Reserve pointed out that working with Metal blockchain was a key step toward making the switch from fiat to stablecoins smooth. This would help close the gap between standard banking systems and the decentralized finance sector. At the moment, Americans can make fast payments within the United States, mostly through third-party apps like Venmo and PayPal or digital cryptocurrency wallets. However, the FedNow service will change everything about this. The platform is still in its test stage, but over 120 organizations have already signed up to use it. These include well-known banks like US Bank and Exchange Bank, as well as a number of payment processors and solution providers. This event not only shows that blockchain technology is becoming more accepted and used in regular financial services, but it also marks a major turning point in the coming together of traditional banks and the new world of decentralized finance. As a leader in cross-border payment solutions and distributed ledger technology, Ripple is set to play a major role in the FedNow project, which is being led by the Federal Reserve. Stellar Lumens, XLM, which is known for its blockchain-powered network that makes global transfers faster and cheaper, is also likely to be added to the FedNow ecosystem. This is where the story takes an interesting turn. A story caught the attention of the fintech world not long ago. XRP soars to $1,427 as 30% of banks around the world accept it. This is an amazing development that shows how blockchain can change the financial world. The story says that 30% of the world's banks are now using XRP for cross-border payments, which is what caused its amazing rise in value to $1,427. This amount of adoption shows that a huge number of people want XRP, which has sent its price to all-time highs. With the market capitalization going through the roof, XRP's rise is not only a win for Ripple, but also a possible moneymaker for buyers. The story gets more interesting when it's revealed that XRP's market share is almost at or above 30%, which points to even wider use in the world's financial systems. In a shocking development just 6 days ago, it was said that XRP transactions could go over $1.2 quadrillion, which would make its price possible $10,000. Today is a huge change because financial institutions are starting to use the XRP system and its digital assets in more ways. The news is out and no one can change it. The buyback scheme from Ripple is no longer just a guess. It's becoming real faster than anyone thought it would. Ripple Labs, the company that created XRP, is not only thinking about buying XRP, but they are also doing it. This was highlighted in a recent story that said, Ripple starts substantial buyback, retiring close to 1 billion XRP. This shows that a lot of people are sure about XRP's value and its future in the financial world. The story gets more complicated when it comes out that the Federal Reserve is not just watching from the sides, but is very interested in making XRP a central part of global payment systems. If central banks around the world start using XRP more widely, its value could skyrocket to between $12,000 and $22,000 per coin. This has huge effects. This huge increase in value shows how much XRP has the power to change the way global banking works. It has also been confirmed that Google's insights are in line with this path, which supports the Federal Reserve's plans to use XRP as a global payment option because it is so flexible. This set of events is a big step forward for Ripple and XRP. It puts them at the forefront of financial innovation and could change the way payments are made around the world. As promised, we have some shocking papers that were leaked and are about to tell you about them. There are more and more signs that the Federal Reserve has been interested in XRP for a while now. A few weeks ago, the Federal Reserve stated that it planned to use XRP around the world, which is in line with the ISO 4217 standard. This big plan was supposed to be put into action by the end of 2023, but there were delays that weren't expected. As a result, XRP wasn't widely used as a legally recognized currency right away after regulators gave the go-ahead. Now, XRP is mentioned with other well-known currencies like the US dollar, the euro, the British pound, and the Canadian dollar, which are all issued by governments or central banks. But the story gets more complicated when it comes out that the Federal Reserve wants to use the XRP digital asset. Insights from Google Reader show that Kikuchi, a government figure, says that XRPL's public chain should be used to make a sidechain. From what an expert, this plan would let Federal Reserve funds work directly with new ideas from the private sector, making it possible for people to work together and make huge strides in technology. This is just the start. The head of the US Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has made it clear that big investments are being made to create new independent settlement systems in the US. This means that financial technology and digital assets are about to go through a transformative time.